Yo. Off. One moment. I need to sign in. Currently I cannot see the comments, so I just need to fix this here in OBS. Yo. Alright, I can just have it here. I don't need to sign in actually. Alright, so I think for this stream I'm gonna do a couple of hours. I have a few things that I wanna just setting up my stuff here. This OBS here is kind of annoying. Let me see if I can... Alright, I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, cool. Cool. So, yeah, I have a few things I want to work on today. So the to-do for today, or at least for this session, before I have to go, I have like 3 hours before I need to go get a haircut. So we have, you can see, right? Yeah, you can. So I've been working on iterating basically just on a mock-up for the front end of Raven. Because currently, and I can show the state of it now, like it's, the front end is nothing special. I want to do something about that. And then I want to work a little bit on agents, because obviously I'm vibe coding and using agents a lot, but as the code base grows, this can cause a little bit trouble if we don't control this in a good way. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, what I experience, the issues I have with this currently, and then I have a new feature that I've been working on a couple of days, or since yesterday actually, that I will continue on. For the front end, I've just been chatting here with, so this is, you can see it right, yeah, you can. I need to make my screen, probably need to make the screen a little bit smaller here. We'll just do it like this. Yeah, this is with the help of Claude. So it's a little bit too much now, but basically what I've been trying to do is obviously do the dark theme and then a teal. We have a little bit too much effect here. I wanted to have like this light bulb effect, but it's too much, so I'll remove the aggressive light bulb from the cursor here, I think, and just keep it in the dark and teal theme, maybe. The way it looks now is, this is how it looks now. This is the strategy builder where we have a lot of different colors, which is alright. It was more in the purple theme, which I think maybe I'll change. I like the Raven, the teal theme. So I'll be working on that a bit, while also working on the agents. So I have see if I have, yep, I have it here. So the issue I have now, sort of using Claude and agents generally, is the code base is quite big now. The code base is basically 3 parts. So we have Raven over here, which is that's the core sort of feature. That's basically the bot, which have a lot of different things. It has like different adapters. It has some bot features here, which is like what just puts everything together, runs it. Then we have core, which is also like just some core features. Basically all of this that's in Raven is what will be deployed for each and individual traders. It takes a JSON payload and then it constructs the strategies based on that payload. I can show an example of the JSON. Let's see, we have here. So it will take something like this, a payload of JSON, and then feed it into Raven. So we have that, and then we have front end, which is what you see here. Not that one, but this one. So people, they put their nodes and do whatever they want with the strategy. That constructs the JSON like this, feeds it into the deployment of the Raven bot. Then we also have an API layer, which basically communicates between Raven, so it's like a middle layer between Raven and then the front end. So this is how the code base is now, and then there's some other stuff. And so whenever I do a new feature with Claude, it basically, you know, it doesn't really understand the context between the API, the front end, and the Raven. So I have a few different agents I want to work with. I guess this is possible. So then I make an agent that's very specific to a task. For example, when I want to work on the front end, it's very specific to that. So we have, let's see, we have a front end. We then have Raven agents. That's not a good name. It's more like a, I guess a, Raven bot, trading bot. I don't know, Raven. We just call it Raven agent. An agent that is specialized in the front end and understands how the front end is tied in with the backend API. So this one needs to understand how it interfaces with the API. An agent that is specialized in the API layer and understand the context between front-ends and Raven. Especially the Raven here is because the strategy is a composable strategy based on the JSON. So we have the Raven here, and all these things need to understand that in the context. So it needs to understand the context of the composable strategies, how it's all tied together. I think it is possible, right? Docs create. Custom sub agents, yeah. Each sub-agent runs in its own context window with a custom system prompt. Okay. Specific tool access and independent permissions. Cloud use each subject. Yeah, so this is kind of a problem. So every time I create a new feature, the code base is so big that it actually doesn't understand how to implement the feature. So I have to like explain to it, well, how the software is built, and it just doesn't have the context. And that's why I want to create like each agent that just gets a specific .md file with an up-to-date context of the project. Create question as I want to create a sub-agent of persistent context with different parts of the project depending on the setup. Claude's memory feature in Claude AI. No, not this. This is specific. It's specific to Claude Code. Okay, let's see. I have it down. Okay. Claude Code automatically reads these files to understand context by the project. Claude frontend. Okay, so I can have a Claude MD file in. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that is what I need to do then. Root Claude. Okay, good. Subdirectory Claude. Okay. Because I think my current Claude file is pretty messed up. I have one main Claude file here, which is currently just so much. It's like too much context. It's crazy, and I think a lot of this is not. It's not up to date. So like if Claude did a few refactors, it's maybe it updated parts of this, but I'm sure a lot of this is not up to date. And then I also have all these. So all of this is just context files that it's created. And at this point, a lot of this is not up to date. So I think I just want to delete all of this. All of these docs I want to delete, and then I want to do one new Claude file with like it's like a big picture, and then like it says here, and then it maybe references the different sub parts of it, and then we have an individual Claude file. Okay, cool. I think I'll wait to delete this. Some of it I can use. Then the Claude file here. Yeah, this references the Raven specifically. Something like this. Raven. Constant. Pull the markets. Raven is a sub-component of the Raven no code. Holy shit. Holy fuck. There was just a jet flying over me just now. Jesus Christ. Prediction, market, strategy builder. Core components, I probably want Claude just to look through this and update all of this. This is a fine start. And then here we have tests. Yeah, see, tests, 391 tests, we have more than this. Static type checking. Key files. Yeah, all of this. Away with this. Yeah, I think I'll just delete all of it. Index, do we have an index? All of this is old, I think. Action build, integrated composable strategy, ML price calculation build implementation. 22nd, yeah, it's very old. Lead strategy system on position tracking. Bug fixes, testing, front end. I think I can keep this. Yeah, 26. Production and deployment. Yeah, I want to keep that one. Workflows, production, what? Yes, that's fine. Testing. user interface for people to configure a strategy with no code visually. Orchestrate communication between Raven and frontend. File in root that gives a broad picture of the project, and then a Claude file in each project folder. Frontend, Raven, and then API. Currently, Docs has a lot of context files. Some is outdated. How do we proceed from here? Alright, so this is in plan mode, and then it's just gonna cook a little bit and see what it can figure out. Let's see, I think... Can I... Yeah, so Claude back in shared. Okay. Cool. Let's, while it does that, work on the front end part. I think this is it. And then we do open Firefox. Yep. Okay. So the a little bit too aggressive with the light bulb. So please remove the light bulb effect on the cursor, but keep hover state otherwise. Yeah, just a little bit too aggressive with the light bulb. Obviously this is just a very rough mock-up. I'm just trying to play around with the colors. So I tried to do like a silver platinum color scheme, and then I tried to add some hover states, hover effects. Currently with a teal color. I tried other. Let me see. Let's do this one, and then we can open some of the other. I think we still have it. No. It is similar. Is it? Or maybe it is update all, and I don't know if I can go back here. Right, it is. Alright, it's all the same. That's unfortunate. It's all the same, alright. Oh, what is it? 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, in download folder, okay. the muted text a little bit less muted. They are very hard to see. I'm working on the mock-up for Raven, and then I am trying to build, basically just fixing up all the context files in my project. So this, I know this is probably not that interesting, but I have Claude basically just figuring out all the context file, because now we've been working a lot and the code base is pretty big. So I want to clean up all the context files, and I want to be a little bit more structured with how I use Claude and how I use these context files. So this is what we are trying to clean up today. And while that's kind of cooking, I'm working on the mock-up here for Raven. For example, we do this one. It's very hard to see. Donald Heidelberg text here. Yeah, exactly. So, and this is why I wanna kind of take a break, like not literally, but stop like coding too much and just figuring out how to better structure the documentations, because I was for example, this morning I wanted to prepare a new feature, and Claude was completely clueless about like very important, features and distinctions in the project. So, for example, if I ask Claude currently to do a specific feature about, let's say I want to add the ability for a user to maybe add a new signal into Raven. It wouldn't do it as like this composable strategy. It would do it like just a hard-coded strategy. But then if I kind of massage my prompt and kind of massage Claude to say, hey, no, you have to look in these specific files, you have to understand how these things is tied together, then it starts to perform well. So that's why currently I have Claude here trying to figure out how we can structure this project here. What should happen to the 28 outdated bug fix and progress report? Let's see what he said here. Archive. Archive, yeah, we'll archive it. The GitHub action workflow section. To lines, document optional CI/CD. Where should it live? Yeah, keep it in root Claude. The scope MD file contains detailed multi-tenancy architecture. Where should it go? Keep it in root. This is an old file I used initially. Yeah, scope. I don't know how up to date that file is. Scope. Let's archive it. Yeah, actually my background is engineer. Not a software engineer actually, but I do have an education as engineer, but it's kind of a different engineer. It was a jet flying by, yeah, and it happened before. It's crazy loud. Because I think they have an air show today, because I live near an airport, and their normal airplanes, they fly above me. But then once a year they do an air show, so the jets is flying super low. And that's why you can hear it. But we need to document the Archie. So yeah, about the context, it's kind of like if Claude has too much context, it's also messed up, right? Like that's why they recommend that you actually clear the context window after a while. Like it just keeps cooking, and then if you want to do a new feature and you do it in the same window, in the same context window, it starts to hallucinate and start to not perform well because its context window is filled up too much. And yeah, so that's why I want to, every time I want to do a new feature, I just want to do a new fresh context window and then just feed it only the relevant context from these MD files that it needs. And that's why I try to clean this up today. All right, let's see what it's here's the Claude plan. Reorganize documentation from a monolithic root Claude MD file into a structured multi-project setup with clear separation between Raven, API, and frontend. Yes. Claude, Raven, API, frontend, docs, mix, current, outdated, no project separation. Yes. I did try Gemini, but I don't know, it was really messed up on my laptop here. I did the Gemini CLI, and I don't know, it was really messed up. I don't know what happened. So I used it like half a day, and it was just atrocious how bad it was. I probably did something wrong. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that's why I just stuck with Claude for now. But for sure, I want to experiment with other tools. I also tried OpenCode for a little bit, but so far it's just worked well with Claude, so I'm just gonna stick with that for now. But until I have figured all this out first. Roots, high-level project overview, brief, Raven, yes. How can we work together? Script pointers, yes, Raven. API, fast event, yes. Directory structure, REST endpoint, WebSocket, authentication approach, environment variables, markup is real, yes. Yeah, I do use Gemini sometimes, just like chatting with it and stuff, and also for like images and stuff. I did try to do some UI mockups with Gemini, but actually that was not. It was kind of boring looking at, and it was just better having Claude do raw HTML files as a mockup. Yeah, that makes sense. 100%. New structure, index. Oh, that's docs, index, architecture, strategy, execution, deployment, development, front-end, research, reference, archive, docs to archive, docs to merge. Okay. I don't know how confident I am that Claude can handle all of these documents in one like go. I don't know, maybe I'll just try it. I just need to check if I did commit my changes. Alright, it's fine. Merge redundant docs, yeah, cleanup, verification. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for UI, it kind of always the same. Like if I do it with Gemini, it kind of always looks the same. If I do it with Claude, it also kind of look like the same. Like when I did this UI with Claude initially, this one here, before it looks like as it does now, it looked exactly like another vibe coder that I'm following on YouTube. I saw like, oh, okay, now I know how he got his beautiful UI. It was just a one-shot prompt on Claude, like with this nice font here, and it had a little bit different colors, but the same, you know. So it's, I think like for UI, I think web designers still have a few years left, but soon it's probably not. All right, I don't know if it's gonna. Let's just have it go at it, see if it can do it. I'm really not sure how well it's gonna do it, because it's important that these files that it generates is really, but I guess I'll just do that one by one then. When it generates these files here, then I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna read it through, and then I'm gonna make changes. I will have Claude make change to each of these files independently, but now I'm just gonna structure all of it and see how it does. So are you building something too, or do you have a project you're building? Nice. Trading bot for stock market, okay. Yeah, I mean for this project I'm working on, Raven here, it's, you know, it's potentially it would be possible to also connect with stock markets, because a lot of the things is kind of similar. Like you have an order book, a lot of it is just an order book that you're placing, you know, you create signals and stuff and then executing trades. At least the architecture that I'm trying to aim for here in my project is an architecture where I can easily connect other sources. Like if I want to connect, you know, a stock exchange or whatever, or if I want to connect a different market, I can do that pretty easily. So since you are first year CS student, like how much do you use AI like on your daily, like when you actually like studying? Like are you actually like really learning how to code, or do you use AI like a lot? Like this is kind of what I would be concerned about. I'm happy that I learned to code before I got AI, because it kind of forced me to like figuring things out by, you know, Googling on Stack Overflow, reading through documentation. But I'm just thinking, like if you are a student now today and you are doing, you know, computer science, how is it like, how much do you use AI and how much do you actually, you know, code by yourself? latency on Polymarket plays a big role. Yeah, latency is a big thing, which is also something I'm trying to optimize for, but it's not really. It's pretty slow, all of it right now for on like the latency. I do see like also it varying a lot on Polymarket. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes slow. You know, with the events we're getting. Right, nice. Since we're seeing these Polymarket bots and their exact trade activity, timing and sizing, how it's so difficult to reverse engineer. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's actually pretty difficult. Like, you can see all their trades, and of course that makes it easier to reverse engineer, and you can get a pretty good idea about how they're building their bots and stuff like that. But then a lot of these bots also, how is it called, obfuscate their trade. Sometimes they do several different accounts. So maybe you place some trades on one account and then other trades on another account. So they are interested in keeping their edge. And if they show everything that they're doing and make it easy for people to reverse engineer it, then, you know, they lose their edge. So I think a lot of these professional and high performing bots, they obfuscate their trades in such a way that maybe you place, you know, a portion of your trades on one account and a portion of your trades on another account and a portion of trades on all different accounts. On one account it looks like, you know, you like, so just from one account you can't figure out the edge, you can't figure out their trades. You have to have all the accounts, and then even if you had that, picking it, like figuring out, maybe it's gonna use many different strategies on the same account. Because this is, for example, something that I do in Raven is you have, let's say you can have one account, but that account trades 5 different strategies. So if you have one account trading also 5 different strategies, you can't really, you know, it's gonna be difficult to back engineer the specific strategies. With high latency, you would get cooked if someone else took a trade before, you know. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that happened for me a few times when I was testing out the trades, that sometimes, like, when I placed my trade, I got such a bad price, so I think someone is also front running. That's basically what you're explaining, like, what you're talking about is front running trades. Because you can see the whole order book, and you can see what, you know, the people are placing trades on and so on and so forth, right? So I think it's possible to front run. And I think, especially for, like, if we're talking about Polymarket, I think I mentioned this in another, actually last time I streamed, that I don't think that Raven that I'm building is going to be for high frequency trading. I think it's gonna be for like okay, within a few seconds is fine, but like if you want to trade, you know, like milliseconds, I think it's not doable. Simply because you have these institutions that does that already, and they have, you know, resources that none of us have. So you can still do a profitable strategy, I'm sure, without doing the high frequency trading. Yeah, I mean, I think swing trade maybe, yeah, but like arbitrage trading, I think is a big thing, or market making. So market making and arbitrage, I think is gonna be. Oh, here we go again. Let's see. Did you hear that? Yeah. Sorry about that. Think about how it is for me sitting in this room. Like I have my window open, but it's just above me here. It's crazy. Yes, one of your members on Discord have explained it. What do you mean about one of my members on Discord have explained it? I don't know. I haven't seen that, so I'm not sure what you mean. Do you think these bots are quant professional or like crypto bros? I see a lot on X, but seems like scam post. Yeah, so I think for like a lot of the post on X is like, you know, just trying to get clicks, and a lot of them is of course scam posts. But I think for sure there's institutions on Polymarket. I think a lot of the big accounts is maybe, you know, crypto bros, but I think there's some institution because they have the architecture already in place. They have already the architecture, and now they just have to plug in Polymarket. You know, basically what I'm trying to build here with Raven is architecture that's already built with some of these institutions, you know, and they're using it. Co-located servers and private RPC nodes is too expensive for us little guys. Yeah. No, basically was explaining you can do the high frequency, the institution would win always over you. All right, yeah. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I guess so, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's true about with the institution, with always, like if you're trying to compete against an institution with high frequency trading, yeah. I think there's better opportunities for smaller guys. As I said, like arbitrage or market making. There's a lot of arbitrage opportunities, like connecting. Let's say you connect Kalshi, Polymarket, and maybe something like Price Picks, all these like gambling sites where they have sports betting. You can have sports betting arbitrage opportunities between, you know, prediction markets and conventional, you know, sports betting. You also have someone like interactive brokers that have added prediction markets as well, and more, you know, platforms that does arbitrage. That does prediction markets and stuff like that. Is there going to be a feature where you can test the strategy? Oh yeah. So of course it's gonna be. It will be possible, yeah. So now there's this test run here where you can just, you know, you can just test in a very short time period. Like for example, 5 seconds with real data. You can simulate it, where it will simulate the fills with slippage, and then a dry run. Where it's not gonna do any actions, so it's gonna be possible to, and then I will also make it possible to backtest. So there will be live simulation, so you deploy the bot without using real money, and it's just gonna run that like it would normally. But then the thing here is, when we're simulating it, we also have to simulate the fills, and that's, you know, that have a big impact on actual performance. So you can simulate it, but the simulation is not going to tell you 100% how the strategy will work in production. The same with the backtest. So that it will be possible to backtest it with historical data, and it's going to be possible to simulate it. Actually, I think when I launch this, I will not make it possible to live trade from day one, and I think actually I will do it so that I will personally approve people to live trade, because after all, you know, it's kind of high risk to do this with live money. I think that I'm going to do that in the beginning. Then I'm going to have a one-on-one with the first few people, you know, trying this out, and have them explain me their strategy and show me the stats, and then I will enable it, and it's only to keep it safe for people. And ensure people know what they're doing, because, you know, it is very risky, especially putting in this live. And now there will be different risk metrics and things that you can configure on the bot to prevent, you know, big losses. So for example, let me see, I did, yeah, for example, the buy action. We have different strategy types. We have some risk management and stuff like that. There's other things I will add in. For example, you know, time. For example, you want to place an order and how long time is gonna be valid. After that, it's gonna be cancelled and stuff like that. The fees as well, yeah. But right now the fees on Polymarket is only for the 15-minute market. If you go and trade on the, let's say, the 1-hour market, we don't have any fees. And then the fees is also an opportunity, right? Because you can get the rebates. So on Polymarket, let me see if I can. This is what I want to do when this is ready. There's two things, there's two ways of making money as a market maker. One is currently on the crypto market. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. So we have rebates. As a maker, you can get the rebates. So all the fees, some of them will be distributed to the makers, but we also have rewards. So here you can see the rewards that you can get for placing limit orders. So here there's $150. And this, and this is on illiquid markets. So this is basically rewards to provide liquidity on these markets. Some of it is not a lot, like $2 and stuff like that. So I think there could be some opportunity here to create, like use a Raven to create a strategy to get some of these rewards. Here there's like $3,000 in rewards just on this one. But then you have to place a minimum 200 shares, right? So it's, and you probably want to do on both sides. So it's like $100 per trade you probably want to do here almost. Take the worst case scenario, the bid-ask spread can be calculated through Polymarket API. Yes. Yeah, so for the spread, I added that actually to so I refactored the signal. Before I just had one I called price. So now I did an order book. You can see here how we have the order book signal, which is actually a subset of signals. So we have the best bid, best ask, mid price, and spread. So if you want to do a strategy about, let's say you want to look at the best bid and then the best ask, you can do that. So for example, the spread we have here. And then you can, so it's gonna get that signal from the exchange. So for example, connected with the Polymarket, and then you get the spread, and that's basically, yeah, as you said, ask minus bid. Yeah, so as you say, they need to paper trade for a while, and that's when I launch this. As I said, I think I will force people to paper trade. I'm not gonna enable live trading from like day one. Like there's gonna be some kind of a period, like an unlock period of a few weeks, and you have to have a several, like minimum one like profitable paper trading strategy or something like that. Where were we with this docs here? Reference, yes, that's fine. So the cool thing I think about vibe coding is now you can kind of manage several projects in one time. Like I can do this refactoring of the documentation while I also do the like do these mock-ups while also, you know, talking with you guys on these things. It's pretty cool. Yes. Alright, wait. So I did 3 versions here. Different fonts. Let me see, did I open it? I did open it, yeah. So we have... Alright, this one actually is pretty cool. I've seen this font before. I think this is a normal, it's a pretty popular font. I'm more into this one, I think, but where did I see this font before? What font is this? Bricolate, grotesque. Ah, it's grotesque. I think it. Grotesque font, bricolate, grotesque. Yeah, this one here, I think. All right, good night. Yeah, I'm not sure what time I'll do. Like this is morning for me, right? So I know it's bad timing for like American people. I think they're sleeping now. Time, let's say time in New York. Oh, it's all right. It's evening. It's not too bad. San Francisco. 6 p.m. Oh, okay. It's not too bad. How many time zones you have? So here was like 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, okay. So we have like 4 time zones. Middle Eastern. Ah, okay. Middle Eastern. Documentation reorganization complete. This is a summary of what was done. New files created. Claude API front end files modified. All right, so now I need to check those files. Previous core trading bot engine for real-time prediction market trading. It promotes live market. Yes. General signals, electric trading strategy, pole market. Yes. Architecture pipeline, processing event bus signals, strategy ask. Yes. Related to Raven, Claude, MD. It's important to document that the strategy, that the core is a composable strategy builder. So all strategies is composed by a JSON file, which is constructed from a front end by the... Thanks, man. Heyo, curious what your work experience been. Are you a software dev? I guess you can call me a software dev now. Like most of my work, real work experience has been like from project management to marketing, and then I have, on my free time been programming, and recently I have basically been working as a full-time programmer developer in my real normal daytime job, because I still have a daytime job that I'm managing, and in that job where I'm working as like an e-commerce manager, so I do a lot of programming on Shopify. That's why you see some of my earlier videos on YouTube has been about Shopify, because I do a lot about Shopify development, and then I also do freelancing. So I did freelancing on Upwork, and I still have some clients there, and and I have some clients off of Upwork, which I got through LinkedIn, and all of those is just 100% programming. All right, where are we? Then we have the core component, event bus. Yes, processing. Yes. Polymarket WebSocket adapter. Use events, file replay adapter, event recorder, signal producer. It's important to note that we have interfaces to the core. For example, we have, I think it's in the execution. No, wait a minute. We have adapter factory. Let's see, processing, pipeline. No, it's yes, pipeline. Yeah, pipeline adapter. So we have the pipeline adapter, and then we do, for example, Polymarket user events. We construct a class which inherits from the pipeline adapter. And then basically what happens is the pipeline adapter defines these standard and unified classes that we require the other adapters to implement. So for example, if I want to implement Calci, it's going to be more easy, because then Calci just have to inherit from this class and then implement all these methods. So for example, the message callback, send message, connect, disconnect, start, get stats. For example, all pipe should inherit from, so that we do not hard code future pipelines. For example, if I want to add Calci later, then it's easy to do so. Because we use the pipeline adapter. Currently, you specifically mention but that is kinda a sub component. Cool. Also have to use a VPN to trade the Polymarket. Will this cause significant issues with latency in your experience? I mean, so like if you are serious about latency, you're gonna deploy your bot on a VPS that's close to Polymarket servers. So the way it's gonna work with the Raven here is you construct your strategy, and then you click a button, and then actually what will happen is my system will create its own like VPS instance and deploy your bot. So it's kind of on its own server without really being on its own server. So the bot actually doesn't run, at least if you use Raven, that would not run on your own computer. It would run on my servers close to Polymarket. If you do your own trading, yeah, you know, you'll have some latency and you can't do high frequency, but it's, I mean, if you're serious about a bot, you deploy it on a VPS close to their servers. Use events, WebSocket adapter. And then this is class pipeline adapter. Yeah, so the use events WebSocket adapter. This one is specific for Polymarket actually, I believe. Yep. Same goes for, it's a specific implementation of where the user configures the strategy. Yeah, all right, that's fine. Okay, where were we? File replay adapter. And that's kind of the same. Event recorder. File replay. Yeah, that's a file replay. So we have the file replay adapter. So basically, I will use this for backtesting of you know, historic data. We have the event recorder. That is to record current events that we can use for backtesting later. Then we have the signal producer factory. Yes. Signal aggregator, yes. Signals EMA and SMA. I think that's old. We don't need that. Wait a minute. Yeah. I think so. That's actually that is old, and I need to remove it. The and is, I believe, is old and doesn't conform with the composable. I think factory. stack. Sorry, pedantic. PyTest, yep. Execution, layer, architecture, one referral, strategy, action, risk management, execution, adapter, exchange, PHP control, user channel, pipeline. Let's just have it let's just have a look at this first, and because it didn't mention that it's a composable strategy builder, and that's actually what was an issue before, where I would wanted to do some changes and I didn't understand that it's a composable strategy builder. So we just go and hard code different things. Let's just have it cook on that one there, and then we'll see what it does. Then what else do we have? Execution flow signal, event bus, strategy on event, strategy emit action, action callback, risk manager, validate action, execution depth, execute action, execution result. Yes. Do we mention anything about the position tracker, pending order tracker? In multi-exchange architecture, maybe spot multi layer, base class, standard models, purpose, market data, market adapter, standard order book, standard ticker, standard I really don't like the naming convention, but I guess it's fine for now. Stream market data, user events, user event adapter. Oh, now it changed it. Okay. Alright, let's just have a look at this one in the meantime. Wait a minute. Oh, we did already. Okay, make 3 more. Alright, so let me see. Oh, why is it opening over there? I want it over here. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. It's opening it in the wrong window now. Oh, here we go. Alright, so 3 more variations, different fonts. See what it looks like. This one looks okay. Oh, what did I do? Okay, update the Raven with the pages were changed. Okay, let's see. Block description from the node. Pipeline, data source connection, exchange node, signal condition action. Services. We don't even have any services. Key files, models, Pydantic models for strategy, JSON validation. Yes. Builder. So build strategy for JSON. Yes. Signals. Signal producers. Order book. Yes. Conditions. Action builder. Validator. Composable. Composable. Strategy. Composable. Action builder. Amount calculators. Builder. Amount calculator. Fixed amount calculator. Signals. Price. Limit price. Market price calculator. Price calculator. Calculate price. And amount. Implemented signal types. Order book signal, text size signal, EMA signal. Yeah, we have it here. So this is where we produce the EMA signal. I'm pretty sure that I can remove the old ones. What happens if I can't. No. Right, that's okay. I have an issue about that. So I'll clean these signals up. Because I think a lot of this is not used, but we still need the aggregator. Yeah, that's used. Aggregator is used 100%. Condition types. So all of these we need to. You need to update relevant Claude MD files with specific files. For example, in Raven Claude you mention current condition types. If you add a new one, we need to update it as well in the Claude MD file. Make this a specification in the default Claude MD file. Just so we make sure that whenever it updates, let's say you want to update or add a new condition type, that we actually update the MD file with the new thing that we add. That's at least the goal with this here. Abstract interfaces, yes. The core use abstract base class to avoid hard coding to any specific exchange. Add new exchange. Calci only requires implementing these interfaces. Pipeline adapter, yes. Important implementations. Polymarket WebSocket adapter, use phase, yes. Market data layout. Market adapter. Market. I think I want to change the name of this in the future. I think this is not the right name to use for market. Just double check here what that is. Market adapter. Yeah. So that we need to change this. So it should not be market adapter because it's just the naming that's wrong. So because on Polymarket, for example, each you could call each event its own market. But what we mean about this is, for example, Polymarket or Calci or Opinion. So I feel like it's wrong naming. So it should be called like a venue. So I'll just make this as an issue for now. Did I close GitHub? No, I did not. schedule markets on, for example, Polymarket. We should use venue to explain Polymarket versus Kalshi versus opinion and so on. User events adapter, yes. Exchange execution, and here we use a different word. So here we use exchange, which is also wrong. Same goes, I guess I'll do it in the same issue. Here we use the word exchange, but should instead be venue. So this is good. This is gonna be a small refactor we're gonna do later. And this is kind of optimizations that we wanna do now. It's gonna be so much easier to maintain. Implementation, adding a new exchange, implement Kalshi market adapter, use events adapter. Exchange execution adapter. So the exchange, currently the exchange execution adapter implements standard methods to place orders, cancel orders, get a balance, and so on and so forth. So let's say we want to add Kalshi, then Kalshi just need to implement these methods by inheriting this and then implement the methods and then calling the API and so on. Core components, we have the event bus, yes. Processing, validate and transform raw messages, yes. Position tracker, subscribe to trade events, tracks positions. So is this specific to Polymarket now? Positions. Position tracker. Position tracker. Event bus. Well, I guess actually, no, that's fine, I think. Trade event, yeah, okay. Yeah, we only, yeah, so it subscribes to trade events. To ensure that the let's see, position tracker.py is not hard-coded to specifically Polymarket. I think this is, yeah, we just need to verify that. I think I already verified it actually, I just don't remember. I'm pretty sure that all these events that we reference, for example, trade is standard events. Base model. Where do we specify the standard events, for example? Okay, and then we are missing some core components, I believe. We are missing core component in lines 182 to 190. Specifically, there is no mention of it's the it's not the tracker. It's pending, yeah. Pending order tracker and position. Let me just check that I'm right about this. Yeah, no, it doesn't mention that one, and position monitor. And these are very, very core features. These are very, very important because when we execute a trade on Polymarket, we wanna, it's basically a pending order, and we wanna monitor what happens. We wanna monitor if it's filled. So when it gets filled, it actually goes over to the position monitor that then can execute something like a stop loss, for example. So these are very important. We need to update that. Event types. Oh, we have the event types here, but we still don't know where are these defined. Let's see here. Signals. Okay, so that's definitely also something I wanna have explained. We also need to document where and how the event types are defined. See lines 192 to 199. I want to elaborate, I want to make it clear that we don't hard code the specific exchange/venue event names. Rather, we should define our own, and then the adapters translate the exchange specific events to our unified events. And this is just to ensure that, so when we get the book message, let's say from Polymarket price change events, well, maybe Calgy uses a different name. So when we reference these events throughout the code base, we need to make sure that it works for all the different venues, all the different exchanges that we add. And that's why we need to ensure that where are these event types defined, how are they defined, how can we ensure that when we add, let's say, a future venue that it will be added to conform with these event types, and that will happen through the adapters. So the adapters up here, their responsibility is to take whatever data, methods, and so on we have from Calci and then translate it into our own methods. Execution flow, so we load the strategy, we load the JSON, then signal produces created from signals, condition created from conditions, event bus deliver price change events. Yeah, it's not only price change events. In the execution flow from line, you write, but it delivers all events. So I think the event bus, maybe we need a better description. Actually, we probably want to event bus. Core event bus is in the core. Event bus here. Yeah, okay. All the events that has subscribed. I think we need to document the event bus better, either in its own .md file or here. What do you suggest? Yeah, so event bus is like the main, actually a big part of this, and it subscribes to different events. So for example, when we do the Polymarket adapter, that one will then subscribe to the event bus, and then other parts of the bot can subscribe to those events through the event bus. Signal produces updates values. Condition evaluate against signal values. I mean, updates values, it produces signals. It produces signals. Evaluate against signal values, yes. When condition is true, action generated, yes. Action is generated. Should we go into more detail about how actions are produced? Let's just pass. Now it's a lot already, so let me. So this is kind of boring, and this is gonna take a while, but I think this is gonna be really good to have all the documentation and parts of the bots to really aligned with the documentation. So it's not really shipping so many features now, just make sure that it's in a state where we can ship features faster. Because then when I want to do a new feature, I have Claude already read this file and it understands the project without me having to explain everything again and again. Yeah, we have the risk manager. emergency controls, capital availability, reserve maintenance, position limits, max concurrent, max size, max portfolio, order size, price bounds, signal validation, strategy limits, rate limiting, market conditions. Okay, it's fine, I think. Execution modes. Multi-tenancy architecture planned. Yeah, this is something we're planning. Running the system. So we are also missing to explain the recorder and backtester. The recorder lives in recorder. Yeah. And the backtester currently is an file adapter which takes recordings from recordings and plays them as it were real events. We probably want to update this architecture, but for now document how it works today. Okay, good. What did you do? Core components table and missing components. Core infrastructure, event bus, model, standard events. We have it here, the standard events. Okay, yeah, here we have the standard events. Okay, that's in the core. We have order book, ticker, trade, market status, user trade, use order, uses trade from user channel, uses order update, user position. Okay, I guess that's fine. Bus. Yes. Yeah, okay, and now we also need to explain how to actually run it. You had issues with this in the past. So I believe it's all orchestrated from runner. So we have a file that is called, yeah, inside bot. So that is bot/runner. Fuck, I need a new coffee, I feel. So runner. Strategy run, higher level bot orchestration. Manage it, yeah. Yes. We need to explain that, and this is, yeah, do we have it in the file now? No, we don't have it, so that's pretty important. So I put that here, and then legacy code. Signal factory and signal aggregator. Yeah, I am not sure if that's true, so I'll just put a comment here. Users node. I am not sure if this is the case. We need to verify. I don't know if I can just put a comment like this. I just want to check it later. Sure, actually, I think we need these actually. I think for now I'm just gonna put it in my issue so I don't forget it. Also check this from next to do is production deployment, multi-tenancy, future scale, yes. We also need to explain how the API interfaces. Make it brief. For example, which endpoints are exposed. For example, how do we run the bot through the API? Okay. Risk tracker. Position monitor. Okay. Run live. Yeah. Orchestration interface. Okay. I think this file is getting ready now. I think it's in a good state now. I'm pretty sure. Then we have the API. The API is fast API, and that's basically it interfaces between the front end and Raven. So let's see the description. To be honest, I didn't look so much into the API yet, so I'm not really that knowledgeable. And I think a lot of the things that is implemented now in the API is actually not something that is ready or used. Providing REST API and WebSocket endpoints for the Raven trading platform. Serves as the control plane between the front end and the Raven bot. Yes, Python, Fast API, Pydantic, WebSocket for real-time streaming. Coarse middleware for front-end communication. We have main models, dependencies, test runner. Test session management for strategy testing. Yeah, that's the one we use in the front end when we want to run the strategies as a test. Then we have routes. authentication, endpoints, position, order spot strategies. Yes, services, business logic. Yeah, we don't have anything in the services. So that's should be done. Should be just removed. Services, business logic layer. No, we don't have services. Let's remove it for now. These changes relate to the api.claude.md file. We didn't use services, so I removed it. Please update accordingly. WebSockets and tests. Health, authentication, position, orders, cancel, bots. Yeah. PA bots. Strategies. Yeah, so we need we need to. These changes relate to the Raven. We need to document how the signals are provisioned in Raven. Like what signals are available to the user for the user to use. Because in the API slash, okay, we'll do this one here. It's mentioned available signals. Well, how are they made available? The goal with this is to not make unavailable signals available to the user and vice versa, if that makes sense. Because I experienced that there were some signals in the front end that was actually not implemented in the back end. So I want to make sure that the signals that we show in the front end is actually available in the back end as well. So for example, right now we don't have that many signals. So I want to ensure that, all right, as a user, I take the spread signal. So maybe we want to measure difference in spread. I want to make sure that this is actually available and doesn't break when I add it. And this was a case before. And this one actually, now before I forget, I will make this an issue, because this is something that I had an issue with before. So when style on front end, style on nodes mess up when validating. When the strategy in the front end, specifically the nodes validate, they appear bright red and increases. We need a better way of handling this. Okay. Where am I? There we go. Okay, new running the system section with strategy runner, documentation, the main entry point, the Ravenbot runner, what it does automatically, 10-step lifecycle, code example for both context manager and manual lifecycle, CLI commands. Recording and back testing section, event recorder, file replay adapter, architecture diagram, yes. Key files, new category, bot runner, recorder, pipeline. Update integration with Ravenbot section with note that bot endpoints current use mock state, future architect diagram. Or bot lifecycle work. Okay. Okay. Key models on a bot instance. Okay. Is it legal to reverse engineer your way into a website for a Polymarket trade to find info? What do you mean about into a website? I mean, you can go to Polymarket, get all their publicly available data. You know, you can get all the data for a specific trader and just reverse engineer his trades. You can do that. And that's, I mean, I don't see why that would be illegal. But the thing is, and I mentioned this in the beginning of the stream, is it might be possible to do, but then if you are a serious trader that has a serious edge, you will do everything it takes to keep that edge. So if people are able to reverse engineer your strategy, you loses your edge, right? So what I think a lot of people they do is they trade from several different accounts. So you might have one strategy that places trades not from one account but from several different accounts. So maybe you have 20% in this account, 20% in that account, meaning it's gonna be almost impossible. It will be impossible for you to reverse engineer if that is how they do it. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I suspect it is. So I know this is probably not the most fun thing to watch because I'm just doing documentation, but I think this makes it I think this is a very, very important step. I feel like this is the step I need to do now because I'll be able to output so much more high quality code if I do the proper documentation. So I'll continue to do this for at least 1 more hour. Oh, it's already been 2 hours. A bit confusing. Like the websites, I have to make this bigger. Like the website on VPN for the government shutdown. I found the timer that reload the page because the government shutdown needs to be uploaded. I mean, yeah, like you should 100% do that. Like if you find ways to get the data before everybody else, you use that. Don't think like 100%. Like I talk with other people where they figured out the sources, the specific sources, and this is a big edge, right? If you can figure out to get the information before everybody else, then yeah. Like if you're hacking a website to get the information, of course that's illegal. But if the information is available on their website, you know, publicly available, and you don't do anything like black hat-ish to get it, then of course you should 100% do it. If it's legal, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, I can't tell you. I think it is legal. Into it, I guess, Polymarket, but I do coding pretty well. Oh, okay, nice. What do you do coding in then? You do Python or you do TypeScript, or what do you do coding in? I'll just put this into Claude now, have him update. And then I want to check that he didn't change anything. Yes, oh okay, he did rename. Let's look at the front end now. Yeah, nice. I think TypeScript and Python is a good first, like, that's also what I learned, and like that's what I know. There's other low level languages that is pretty you know, a little bit more difficult, and I think TypeScript and Python is a very good start. Next.js frontend for the Raven trading platform features a visual strategy builder using Reactflow, yes, real-time position auto tracking and bot management dashboard. Next.js types on Reactflow, Tense, Stand, Tailwind, Radix, SOT, Next.auth. I think, am I using Next.auth? I think maybe not. I think maybe I'm gonna remove it because I added something else, so I need to, I'll make an issue about that. What is it called? The one I used, Magic Link. Front end. So what I'm concerned about right now is to just explain the strategy builder, because the only part of the front end that I built out right now has been the strategy builder. So the front end right now looks like this. So I'm concerned more about the strategies here. So the other parts of the website, actually we don't have anything. It's just mock data. It looks really bad. So it's fine. So I'm just worried about this, and this is like, that's the most important part. So I want to make sure that this is documented properly in the documentation. So we have the component strategy builder. Fine, and routes, dashboard, strategies, strategy builder, signal node, input, logic nodes. I want to make sure for sure that for front end Claude, want to make sure we document how the node types are implemented so they conform 100% with the implementations in the backend. Data flow, React flow graph, strategy converter. Yeah, so we have a strategy converter and we have a strategy validator. Just test and validation. Thoughts on HTML, CSS, because it's what I'm learning at the moment. I mean, HTML and CSS is like markup languages, so it's not really, technically it's not a programming language. It's just like the structure of a website and then the visuals of the website. But to actually implement features like dynamic features such as calling an API or calling a database, you know, then you would need something like JavaScript, TypeScript or Python that actually makes the functions, make the website work. But HTML and CSS, of course, that's the starting ground for like someone that want to be a web developer. That's the first thing you learn, and then. But today you probably just need to learn the basics, because you can do vibing, you know, vibe coding. Strategy canvas. Node drag and drop, edge connection between nodes, node selection, public editing, strategy save load, test run initiation, yes. Environment variables. Okay. I also want to have it explained how the tests works from the strategy route. For example, the mock test, the simulation, and the dry run. How does it work? Yeah. Okay. So let's see what he did. So for the, oh, for fuck's sake, let's see. We have remove services directly from the structure. Doesn't exist. Yes. Add a new signal provisioning section of documents. Validate a registrar. Implemented signal set in validator. Reject strategy using own unknown signal types. Signal producer class implements its signals part the actual code that process events. API schema. I think now I can actually just ask Claude if we use those files. Let me see. Where was it? I need one more coffee. I can feel I did not sleep well last night, so I think I need some coffee. The app says I did sleep all right. However, it said I got less deep sleep than expected, so maybe that's why I don't feel that well. A little bit headache. A little bit tired. I got 52 minutes of deep sleep last night. Can I click day before? No, cannot. Okay. I've updated to clarify the situation summary are not depreciated. They have tested and are exported, however, they are not used by the composable strategy system. Two separate signal art. Okay, so we need. Okay, so that needs to be removed, but I'll do a separate issue about that. So maybe I can I'll remove this comment here, and then I'm gonna do a separate issue about it, so we can clean that up. So that's, yeah, so that's from the old remove dep dep depreciated signal, I don't know, providers or whatever we call it. I'll just copy paste this in directly. Okay, whatever. And then we'll do this, and while it cooks, I will go make a coffee. Alright, let's see what happens. So we have some updates, node type conformance section, signal types tables show which signals are implemented in both front-end and back-end. Condition types table shows implement status for test run system section. Okay. Key files table. Front-end node must match backends. Okay. Front-end types must match backend implementation exactly. Types are defined in front-end strategy, backend, Raven strategy, composable models, and those are validator. Okay. Signal types, how to keep in sync. What happened with, didn't I ask, wait a minute. Didn't I give it this? No, wait a minute. No, I did, oh yeah, no, I made a separate issue about that. Okay, so we have signal types for now, and we define the front end, we define the back end. Yes, but how does that how does these interface with the API? Should we have a section in the core.md file that explains this in a big picture way? We have an API endpoint that gets the available strategies available. Yeah, we have this one here. We have, and then what you wrote in front end Claude MD. Okay, should be okay. Wait a minute. I have added a cross-component type conformance section to the root Claude MD that explains the big picture. What was added? The conformance flow diagram shows the complete flow, Raven source of truth, validator, implemented signals, actual implementations, API bridge, get strategy imports from Raven, returns to front end. Yeah. already see an issue here, which is not something that we can fix right now. Bridge between API, bridge between front end and Raven. It's Raven is imported in API, but if we plan to deploy Raven as individual instances, would that then even be possible unless the whole API is also deployed in the same instance? So I don't want to, when I deploy Raven, the Raven bot instances, I don't want to deploy the API for each bot. That doesn't make any sense, I think. I don't know if that is going to be a requirement, that it has like this API bridge. It probably need to, I guess. So that's why we'll do this issue. Then I'll figure that out, how we're gonna do that, if this is the right approach or not. Then front-end fetches, so that's the consumer fetches available signals on load type strategy should match API response. Key files, table should exactly, okay. Full stack. Okay, I mean, I think it's pretty good now, but it's definitely something that can be tweaked along the way. And then we have the docs. Yeah, and then the docs is a lot of these things is probably not relevant. So I will do this here. So I will tell him to update. This one is okay. For the main Claude.md file, can we explain to Claude to keep docs updated, and also how to handle out of date docs? I suspect that many of the docs are not are out of date features and stuff post refactors. Context left until auto compact. All right, let's just compact it. Yeah, so I want to have Claude understand that the docs actually is not to be used as a 100% source of truth. With other words, we cannot rely 100% on the docs, since they might be out of date. So we want Claude to be able to update them when necessary to keep them in line with the source of truth. Something like that. Yeah. Because that was kind of the issue, right? I mean, that we just had all these docs and we need to handle those, and then they got old and it was out of date, so we need to yeah, we need to do something with that. There's also some Okay. So we got the updated UI now. I kinda like it. Maybe it's a little bit too much. I don't know, a little bit too neon-ish, but it's easy, relatively easy now to read. Some is still hard to read, but it's not too bad. I wonder how easy it is to translate this into Next.js and Tailwind. Since this is just hard-coded CSS, I guess it's okay. Try make a version with a purple theme. Think of a raven. How would it look like? Something dark and mysterious. And keep in line with existing layout. We are only concerned about the colors, the color scheme. Okay, I've added guidance on source of truth, explicit statement that source code always wins when docs conflict. Yes. Handling outdated documentation, step-by-step process, verify against code, update or archive, update index.md file. Signs the doc may be outdated. Reference to non-existing files, all terminology, refactor patterns. Claude MD priority, emphasize these are the most reliable docs to keep updated. Okay, let me see what it wrote actually and where. Python Raven that run live. Raven. Okay. Adding a new signal type. Okay, and then I wonder if we should have all of this higher up. And how much context? Can we calculate context or something like, or tokens? Claude. I just want to know how many tokens the MD file is. Claude. Calculate tokens. Token counting. Okay. The token counting endpoint accepts the same structured list. Can you, let's ask Claude if you can do it. Can you count amount of tokens currently in the main? I guess it can just fetch that endpoint if they have an endpoint to get the tokens. Because I just want to make sure that the file, yeah, okay, the file is not too big. Times inflate the token count significantly. Each box drawing character typically counts as its own token. The conformance flow diagram alone is probably okay. Comparison. Markdown tail code blocks. Okay, so 2,000 or 3,000. Okay. Can we add instruction to keep the plot less than 5,000? Claude code token window. Token limit. See about Claude's context windows is 200,000 tokens. Okay. So this is good. This is very good. Update documentation. Good. Okay, got that to read me. Yeah. I guess what's left to do is basically just testing it, but we can do that when the next feature is to be done. Actually, I'm still working on a feature. I'm still on this feature branch, and I have some changes that I need to do. But I don't think that I'm gonna do it now since I don't have time. Okay. I think the last bit, I'm just gonna work a little bit on the UI then. Now I had him do a purple theme instead of the teal. Maybe that's okay actually, it's not too bad. I don't hate it. I really don't. I don't hate it. Can you remove the gradient that follows the cursor? Yeah, so the gradient, I don't want that. I don't think that is, and that seems like it follows, you know, it's just, I just want to remove it from the cursor specifically. I still want the hover effects on the border. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what I want to try now is just take this template and have it implemented in the Next.js just as a test. So I can use Claude here for that. So let me close Claude and actually it's I am still in this feature branch. I forget it. It's just as a test. Just want to test it. In plan mode, please help implement a mock UI based off of a raw HTML CSS template. Make a new page route in Next.js. I'm not gonna specify the front end fold. Let's see if it knows. And then let me see if, I guess it's this one here. Can it fit? I don't know if it can. Can it just? Maybe I do like this. There's a lot of lines. I don't know if that's too much context, but let's see what it. Let's just see what it does. I want to see. I want to see if it works. I'll have an analytics dashboard as a new Next.js. Let me first export a front-end code base to understand front ends. Yeah, it does get the front-end folder. Because if this works well, then I can just keep iterating on the Next.js side, because now it's just, the front end is in just raw HTML and CSS like this mockup, and It would be better if you just have it in Next.js. So let's see if it can actually implement it. Signal update. Price. Oh, okay, yeah, so that actually did work. So it says price here, but it's actually not price, it is the spread. 0.003. It's a very, very, very tight spread. And now, yeah, so it's 0.6 and 0.5 here. $0.1 right now. Yeah. All right. So that works. Okay. Good. And then the template uses man rope Albert Sanford, but the product uses guys. Which one? Use what's defined in the template. Keep in mind, this is only for a test. I want to see if you are capable of implementing this mockup in Next.js/Tailwind. The template has sophisticated proximity hover effects. The elements glow when cursors nearby. How should we implement this? Port the JavaScript to React. Elements react to cursor distance. Yes. Oh yeah, we're still going. But I'm probably gonna close soon because I have my breakfast on the way. Just ordered it. And we have had progress. Like the whole documentation and the project has been basically refactored now, so we have better documentation now. And now I'm just trying to implement the mock UI into Next.js and see how well it does. Yeah, and while it does that, yeah, well, so I did make him, not exactly agents, but we came to the conclusion that I've made Claude files in each of the components. So we have, for example, a Claude file here in the Raven, which is the core architecture, that then explains everything there. We have one in the API over here that explains everything, so in this file here. and then we have one in the front end, and then we have one main file that then references all of them. So you can see here how it references. So it should have better context, and then all the documentation has been sorted into different folders with an index. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's gonna be good. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Template fonts, proximity. Right, let's see. Now this UI I'm implementing, I'm not sure if I'm gonna commit this. I just want to see how well it does with the UI here. Yeah. So initially I thought I'm gonna do these specific agents or sub agents, but Claude suggested to just use sub documentation files. So that's what I do, and I'll see how it works. And if that works well, that's good. If not, then I might do the agents, the specific agents. So for now we just use it normally, but just basically restructured and refactored the documentation sites. It took almost 2 or 3 hours, but I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be really good when I can do, yeah, so see. Alright, my food is on the way. Alright, when that does that, I'm just gonna test some of these signals, see if everything works. So that we have the best bit. And yes. Best ask. So the data we get in here is real data. So it's simulated, but only the fills. The data we get in, like the exchange events, is real data from the WebSocket. So we can see here how we get the price change events. We have the bid, the ask, and then the mid price. All of this is then passed over to the signals over these, so these over here, and we can see signal update. So if we want to do a strategy only with the bid, we can do that. And we have the spread is this one here. So, but yeah, I see here some updates I need to do. It says price, but actually this one should be specific to the signal. Let me see, issues. Update names on events coming in the front end. When we get events in the simulation on the front end, the event name doesn't reflect the actual event name. For example, event says price, but it's actually order book slash bid, something like that. And all right, it's still cooking. Wait a minute, let's see. And then mid price, did I try mid price? Let me just. Best mid. Yeah, we got it there. I was gonna say, yeah, I use Claude all the time, but I don't use browser version. I just give it function by function. I try to ask a specific question as possible. Yeah, I mean, I also did like the browser before, like for ChatGPT, and like, you know, getting the functions and copy pasting them in, but using agents is so much faster, but also a little bit more risky because you have less control of the code base. That's why I'm so meticulous about doing the documentation, so I really understand the code base as well. What's your backend web framework? I was gonna ask earlier, but I mean, so there's well, we have Raven, which is like the core trading bot, sort of say, and that's just pure Python. But then we have the API, which is a fast API that's gonna communicate between Raven and then between the front end. So that's like the back end so far. But for whole deployment, I'm not done with that yet. Yeah, fast API. So that's for the API stuff, right? So when we communicate between the front end and Raven, and like, let's say that you wanna, if you've deployed your bot and you wanna do something about the bot, then that communication will happen from the front end through fast API over to Raven. Yeah, now I use Ubicorn, yeah. But actually, like all that, like the actual deployment stuff, I haven't done that yet, and I have to really think about how to do that. So deploying everything is not something that I'm concerned about right now. I do have some plans about it. I did do some docs about deployment here, but none of this is implemented yet. So yeah, so that's like a next step. We just use the session cache. Yeah. So I do Django a lot. That's what I did before. I still do Django, like just normal websites, and I really love Django. But for doing just pure APIs, I feel like Django is almost overkill, because Django is like batteries included with everything. It also have a template engine. It has like user authentication, and then if you want to do APIs with Django, you have to implement like a module to do APIs. So it's better to just do fast API, for example. Like Django also have something called this module. It's called Django Ninja or something, or Ninja API or something, which is basically, I can't remember the name, but it's fast API as a module to Django or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so Django, nice out of the box website, yes. And if you want to do like custom websites, and the good thing about it, I think, also is the authentication. Actually, like if you have users, it's nice because it's a very robust user authentication, and you can use that also headless. So if you want to do like, if you have the API stuff, you can do React. Now, for example, Next.js, I need to implement user authentication in a different way. I do like the way Django does it. Yeah, it is. So yeah, Django it has been synchronous for a while. I think now the latest versions of Django has a lot of asynchronous stuff. I'm not really up to date with that because I didn't do new Django projects for a while, so I'm not really up to date on that. But yeah, let me just think. I have the front end actually. Analytics, navigate to analytics, okay. Dashboards. Or maybe it's not in a dashboard, it's just here. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's close, but it's actually pretty far off in the terms of the colors, so I definitely need to do some updates to this. I wonder, I just want to check if it changed the defaults. No, nothing has changed, so that's good. All right, so we can use this just as kind of a template to do the UI stuff. That is good, but it's kind of far off. So this is what it did in Next.js, and what I wanted it to do was, I guess this one, no, not this one actually, but one of these. Where was it? This one, yeah. Let's see. So I mean, it's structure is kind of the same, but the colors is not. Like there's some purple, but then you know it's actually, and the hover states it's not. So I think I need to just iterate on this part here, because then it's gonna be easier to implement this into the rest of the site. So this is fine. Okay. Yeah, ShadCN is nice. I normally use it. I think actually I do have it in this project. UI. Yeah, I think all of this is... No, maybe actually it is not. Okay, actually I don't use it, but we have the radix which Shadn uses, so ShadCN uses, so yeah, ShadCN is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Really like it. Analytics, yeah, okay, cool. Examples. Okay. Right. Yeah, I mean, so this one here is yeah, I mean, this is just raw CSS and HTML. I just tried to see if it could take the raw HTML and CSS and then apply it with Tailwind. But yeah, I mean, it does look a little bit like ShadCN. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm basically done here. I think I will stop for now. I think I'll just apply. Yeah, so we have the front end. I think I will commit this just so I have it, and I can CSS. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll just commit this mockup at mockup for analytics UI. Yeah, man, thanks for stopping by, and I might go live later in the evening. I think generally for the people that follows me, it's kind of a different time zone that I'm on at, but I'll definitely either go live later today, or I might do it or tomorrow same time. So yeah, thanks for stopping by.